everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Hello Africa podcast. This is where we have conversations that stir up change, bring out our wealth, as well as give visible hope. Now, today, I'm joined by a guest who expresses visible hope in all its existence and fullness. Yeah, and we are going to hear from her. She's going to talk to us about who she is, what her story is, and what she has seen God do, and what that can do to us, even as a continent. Yeah, so Nimo, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yes,
Thank
how are you
you
doing?
I'm doing well.
How do you feel?
I feel good, and thank you for having me.
Of course, I had to have you. I mean, this... Ngoja tusikie. Ngoja tusikie. Nimo, we're just going to get right into it.
Yeah.
And tell me what happened in class 7.
Wow. Class 7 was... You know how you'd explain a moment where the decision you make will either change your life for best or for worst. And I think that is what happened in class 7.
Yes.
And what started as a curiosity turned out to be like something else. Like I found myself in cycles of drug usage because it was the first time I tasted alcohol.
In class 7?
Yeah.
And was it introduced to you by someone? Did you find it by mistake?
Actually, it was introduced to me by someone. And wow, it was house party. I was in class 7 and I felt cool hanging out with older people who were in high school and all that.
Yes.
Actually, I thought I'd be tall. You know, I'm a short person, but I thought I'd be tall because for some reason nilikuwa natishana now. And I went to this house party and there was alcohol and all that, and people were getting high, and I was like, I want to taste it. Of course, I tried soda, water, Del Monte and stuff, but then I felt like, I want to taste that, you know. And actually, sikumeza, but I spit it. And the funny thing is, what the enemy does, he finds a loophole. I opened a door for something, and that's where it started. I remember I went home. My mom is an intercessor, and in my mind I knew, hey, my mom will find out today with the Holy Spirit.
At a snitch.
And I got to the house. I remember nilikuwa namwangalia and I was like, huyu mtu ataambiwa tu. So I was prepared. Of course I was scared, sorry. And the night ilipita, she didn't maybe get to know, but I felt so much guilt in me, and I felt something had shifted. And it was also because of the mindset that I thought maybe this is my identity, or this is what young people are doing. I'm a teenager and this is what is happening. And it's like opening that door really changed my life. And so she didn't know, but then I kept on going to the house party. I remember the next one I went to, I didn't get high because I hated the taste. But then for some reason, there's this particular time I started doing weed. Like it was the first time.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's when I got high for the first time. And it was a bad experience, but I went back to it.
You went back to it?
Yeah.
Wow. What would you say would lead you to go back to it?
I think maybe the void.
There's a curiosity.
Curiosity, yeah.
And what void are you talking about?
I think when the first time when I opened the door to the enemy, when I tried alcohol and I told myself, maybe this is it. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah. Something, I don't know, something left, and there was a void. And now I was trying to fill that void. Yeah, because I constantly tried looking for things. What are people doing? What is everyone saying? What is making people happy? And I was looking for that, and I was trying to fill a void.
Wow. So now it went to weed.
It went to weed.
So at what point, what stage of your life right now are you when you're trying the weed?
That is still in class 7.
That is still in class 7 towards the end. Wow.
Yeah. And now in class 8, the weed now was like my thing. I don't know if I was in alcohol more than I was in the weed.
Wow.
So the weed was my thing. I like, by the time I'm doing my KCP, I could say that I was addicted to it.
Yeah.
And
That's crazy.
yeah.
And you know, there's someone who is watching, they're wondering, class 8, how old are you? Class 8, you are 13 years.
You
Yeah.
know. And you know, there's something, we were having this conversation with you sometime, and I remember you said that the enemy does not care how old you are. I was just a baby, like I was a girl, you know, a baby.
The enemy
girl.
does not fight the fruit; he fights the seed.
He does.
Because you crush the seed, how will the fruit come?
So
now KCPE ukamaliza.
KCPE nimemaliza, nimefanya KCPE, bado I'm into drugs. And then the funny thing, this is the funniest thing, I went to a rehabilitation high school. My mom didn't know it was a rehab.
Wait. So who found the rehab school for you?
My uncle.
Oh, they knew what was going on?
He knew, but he didn't want to share. So he didn't share with the family. So he said that this kuna high school, you know, it will be good for Nimo and all that. And my mom was alikuwa ule mse because this is an older brother, so she's like, whatever you say, because also you've told me so much about the school. And I went to that school. I remember joining that school. I also didn't know.
And how comes your uncle knew and your parents did not know?
That's the funny thing.
That's the funny thing, right?
And you know, my mom was also present. The funny thing is she was present and my dad was present. But unaona, like they wake up in the morning, wanaenda shule, wanaenda kazi, na sisi tunaenda shule. Yes, tutapatana, but akuta kwa hiyo moment let's sit down, how was your day, you know, like, you know, Alice, I'm looking at you and I can tell maybe if you're happy or not. Akukukuwa na that. But kulikuwa na conversation in the house. Mmeosha vyombo? What's happening? Nini? Go sleep. Tomorrow you have an early day. So as in, ilikuwa just like the normal African when you want to interact.
I love that.
But there was no your time and we are seated and we are talking about this. How are you?
And I love that because it drives, and I hope that you're also getting that point there. That we need to have conversations in the house. We need to communicate, not just pass information. Because umeosha vyombo is just passing information. Ama kesho no unapika. Kanagera kerea, you know.
So I think maybe that's where they missed it. And my uncle, he was coming to visit us, and he used to live around, and alinipata kwa kona mbaya. You know how you're like, mbona tu there's this uncle mwenye tu ndo anakupata when you're not at your best. And he noticed that, and I'm sure he asked around. And that's how he also covered me with love, because he had so much hope.
He had so much hope in you. Amazing. So he finds the rehab, and then your parents agreed to take you to the rehab. What happens when you get to the rehab?
I go to the rehab. First year, I'm like the Form 1. I'm like, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be the best. Nita perform. Like, I started thinking about how I can make my life better. And I went back home. I remember sikuwa nataka anything to do with the old friends. Also, wengine walikuwa shamaliza. They're all about their business. And then in Form 2, someone approached me, a lady, and she came and she was like, "Hi Nimo, I like you," and all that. And I was so excited because I thought she was cool. And I was like, I want a friend, you know, she's in Form 3. I also want an older friend, because I don't know why I was so inclined to older people. And she was like, you know, I want us to be friends, to know each other more. And I was like, I'm so excited about it and all that. And the following day, she actually confessed and told me, the reason why I asked you that is because I'm attracted to you the way a boy would be attracted to a girl. And Alice, what I lost it, because in my mind, like my Christian background is only vitu zenye we don't do that.
It's a man who comes to a woman.
You know, what are you telling me? And I remember I prayed. I even spoke in tongues. They were fake, of course, because I had my mom pray at night, and I rebuked that. but still my heart was in the wrong place.
Yeah.
It was still in the wrong place.
Wow.
And I was not like fully dedicated to God. Like I was saying, I know God, I love God, I'm praying,
but your heart was not given to him.
Yeah.
And that's why you're saying your heart was in the wrong place.
Yeah, it was in the
wow
wrong
so the right place for a heart to be
Yeah.
is actually in God.
Yeah, in God.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So the girl katias you, of course. At first you rebuke it,
Of course. Yeah, and then siku zikasonga, and I felt attraction towards them, because they also cared.
Yeah, they cared.
Yeah,
they showed
cared.
you love.
They showed me love.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me try this, maybe this is what I've been waiting for, because also there's still the void. The void is still there.
Bado hatujadili na hiyo void.
Bado iko.
So tumejaribu alcohol, tumejaribu weed,
tumejaribu zote,
hakuna yenye inaifeel.
Hakuna.
So wacha sasa tutry
wacha to try, maybe this is it. And love, that what people say about love.
Yeah.
And I got into that relationship, and that was like the worst decision I made.
Wow.
Because when I got into
But it did not feel worst at that moment.
I did not feel worse at that moment.
Yes.
Now
yes. In fact, it felt like the best decision at that point.
Yeah.
So it's worst when you're looking back, but at that moment, it felt like it could actually fill the void that you had in your heart.
Yeah, and for a moment, I thought the void was filled, because now, I'm in high school, I'm in love, I have a girlfriend, I have someone who can stand up for me, and everyone knows, and maybe there's this thing about Nini, I'm unique, or you're cool, you're hanging out with cool people who don't care about what other people think. And slowly, I didn't know it was really destroying me as a person.
Yeah.
And I started identifying myself into my feelings, because I think that's where most of us, especially being in the LGBTQ, just because you have feelings, because of emotions, that is where you find like, this is what I identify with. Just because I felt something for a girl, just because I was in love with a girl, it does not give me identity.
That's not.
So identity is beyond
the epitome
that.
of your identity.
Yeah, it's beyond emotions and our feelings.
Wow.
So and I based my identity on that, and we broke up, of course. And then I dated
Mlifanyiana nini sasa?
Hata sikumbuki. I think just high school drama.
Surely, high school drama.
Yeah.
So you broke up with her.
I broke up with her. I started dating someone else. Sasa kuna vitu na jealousy, because now you're trying to make your ex feel bad. There's all this thing, kuna jealousy, kuna
So she came to you and
rejection.
told you she likes you.
Yeah.
So she was the one who was dating you at that particular moment.
Yes.
So now after you have broken up with her, you the one now who's going to look for now to pursue another lady.
Actually, yeah. It's, I remember even after during that moment, I could not even date someone for 2 months. I'm in this relationship, I'm in another. Like, my mind is just obsessed about it. And even finishing high school, in campus, every Friday when I go to the club, there's someone new. Ikafika mahali, and my friends would say, there goes Nimo's ex, future ex. Because, like, there's someone new, you feel something different. And I don't think that is love. That is not love. Yeah, that is lust, of course. That is lust. But it became my identity, because I have feelings towards women. So I'm basing my identity on that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, umetukimbiza hapo sana. So how was your high school life? How were your grades? How was your performing? Were you still doing weed?
Yeah.
Did it graduate to any other drug?
Yeah, it did. I did weed. I did cocaine. Of course, the first cocaine was not like the legit cocaine. After I got to know more about cocaine, and I was depressed, especially in Form 3 and Form 4. I fell into depression. I would cut myself. It escalated to burning. Now the cutting was not enough. I would hurt myself. And Alice, I didn't learn that from anyone. I just, one day, I found myself cutting. And
no one taught you. No you had not seen it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just a boil up of everything that was inside of you.
Yeah. You know how you could say, I saw it in a movie, or I saw a friend do it. It was like doing it for the first time and seeing it for the first time. Yeah. And I felt into so much depression that I thought the only way out of this thing, whatever this dark side, this dark hole I'm in, is through death. Only death can set me free. Only death. But Alice, actually, the death part in my mind, when I think about it, the death part, that only death could set me free, is actually true, but not my death.
But
Someone
not your
else's
death. Nimo.
Not my death.
We're coming there. We're coming there.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm insisting on you just taking us through the process, is because there's probably someone out there, and they feel like, hey, me, I'm way in too deep. You know. So sometimes when we give our stories and our testimonies, and we just give the upper part, this happened, it's an amazing thing. But sometimes when you're able to bring out that emotion of, I was so depressed, I could cut myself. In fact, I even burnt myself, and that was not enough. And probably there's someone out there who is saying, by the way, this is where I am at. But today, look at Nimo seated here. So there is still more to that story. So Nimo, high school is done, and then you go back to you go now into campus. By this time, how is your relationship with your parents and your family?
I'm not living at home, of course. At that time they used to live in Rongai, and I was somewhere in Umoja. I moved around until I moved in with the person I was dating. Actually, do you remember the first girl?
Ninamkumbuka?
Yeah, huyo mmoja. Huyo wa kwanza. After, I don't know, 6 years, tukapatana, and we moved in together.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now you're already done with high school, you're already in campus,
you
mkapatana, you moved in together, and started living together as a couple. And how was that? So did your parents call you? Were you just masquerading? Did you ever go for any family function?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Unaficha?
Naficha. But it's so easy. It's so easy to, and I think that is one thing that ningependa people to learn, that, you know, even when I went home, either maybe someone would identify me because of how I'm wearing and all that, how I'm behaving. But when it comes to lesbianism, it's not really about what you wear and all that. Because I went home, of course, I grew up around boys. I loved sneakers and t-shirts na nini. I was not masculine, so I was not a mask woman. I was just normal. I was like a tomboy. So I would go home. Of course, when I'm going home, I'm well behaved. Siko high. Of course, ninatumia drugs, but kuna venye you can hide it. And also, you're not going to stay. You're just going to say hi, and then, you know, and all that. And I remember there was this one time my mom called me, and she was like, I just want to pray with you.
Wow.
And I broke down. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I've tried so many things. I'm in a relationship. With someone I think I love, and they love me. And I'm still like, there's still some emptiness in me, you know. I don't know what I need, but there's something that I need. I felt like I lost something. You know how you can lose something, alafu unashinda ukitafuta hadi kwa hiyo kona. That's how I felt. I felt like I had something before, but someone took it away, and I was looking for that thing. So she called me and she prayed over me, and I felt like I just want to stay in that moment. I want her to continue praying. I don't want her to stop. I want to stay on that phone. And for some reason, I was reminded about God, but still, it was like a flash, and then,
Wow, Nimo. Wow. So now you're living together. You're in campus. How are your grades at this time? Ama hata masomo tulisahau.
So, baby, for it, I think nili drop vitu nyingi sana. I started doing different things, but then eventually I went into theater, and nikaamua, I'll do theater, I'll do anything to do with script writing, screenplay. So I would perform in theaters. So I started doing stage plays, because that's where my gift is. So nikaona, okay, these things are not working. I'm bored, I'm dropping, I'm changing courses and all that. So I decided, okay, why don't I go for something that I find it easy to do? So
she's really good at stage plays, guys. Even like scripting and editing and all those things.
So I'm living with her, and the person I was dating was an addict. I was an addict, but sasa yake was way too much. And I remember
addict
I'm using drugs, but yake ilikuwa mbaya kabisa. And every day lazima in our house we could have drugs, tuko na injections, we have these things. And you need life, like it's something you do every day, waking up at 3 a.m. to take drugs, not to pray, to take drugs. That was my lifestyle. I'm dating, we are breaking up, we're in the same house, broken up, inakuwa toxic, maybe going out and not coming back in the house, and just dating other people, then breaking up, then getting back together, going for functions. Of course, we went to LGBTQ functions and stuff, talking to young people. And even as I talked to them, I felt like
So what were you telling the young people?
I was telling them about
you're encouraging them
encouraging
to embrace
them,
this
and also about safety, and you don't have to come out when you're not well off, because your family might kick you out. But I felt these people need something more. And I remember I used to do research. I would go on Google, I'm just doing research, and I'm getting the same things we are telling them, but I felt they need something that I feel I also need. It's more than this. I didn't feel content. I just felt like it's a tickable box. So so that was my life.
Yani unasema wewe ulikuwa una spearhead this movement.
Nakwambia nilikuwa mission, nilianza kazi ya mission
kitambo. Wow, Nimo. What? So what's, I don't know if to get to the place of transformation first. But when you tell your story, first of all, there's a time you mentioned that you can't remember a time that you were not high during all those years. And I think that's very profound. But not just that, but then there's a time that you talk about, traveling, even traveling now, and spearheading this and talking about it, and even coming to a place where you almost got married, and had a wedding.
Oh my God, I for real, like, my dream desire. Okay, my desire was to, when someone wants to propose, they sing. And the person I was dating, they could sing, and they sang for me. We were in a karaoke, whatever. It was on a Thursday. Can't forget the day. And she proposed. I was so happy, especially when she started singing. Like, I knew it's like everything I've been saying. She kept record of that, and she did exactly that. But then I remember that night, nikiamka asubuhi, I asked myself, what is it? Why am I still not feeling what I want to feel? Like, the first time was like, oh no, nimefind love. Nimefind love in high school. I'm dating. Kidogo, I've moved in. Now I'm an adult. I can go and party however I want. I'm in love. I'm traveling. I'm speaking to people. And then this person, they have proposed in a way that I find beautiful. Why am I still not feeling what I want to feel, or what I feel like? There was something. There was something missing. And I remember I told her that yesterday was beautiful, last night was beautiful, but I don't know what I'm missing. And it turned out to be an argument, because it was like, what do you want? You always want more and all that. And I think, other than us being in a relationship, when you don't have when you don't find your identity, or you don't find, like, when your heart is not in the right place, you can also oppress the other person.
Wow.
Because you want more from them, and they can't give you that.
They are not able to give that.
Yeah, they're not able to give you, because what you need, they don't have that, you know. And I felt like I was also putting so much on her, because I remember she was telling me, you want everything, like you say you want, but you're never satisfied. And I remember I cried, and I told her,
so you're trying to fill that void.
Yeah, I'm trying to
through the expectations.
Yeah, and I like, it's like I feel like sometimes I blamed her. I was like, maybe there's something you're not doing, but it was all me.
So you placed all that burden on another person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did the relationship end there?
Actually, it ended because little did I know, in 2 months I'll receive Christ.
Okay.
It was in 2018, towards 2018, and I remember going for a crossover. Planning for a crossover. I told my friend, you know, I want to go to church, because I remembered the feeling when my mom prayed, and I was like, maybe I'll find it there.
Yeah.
Of course, I know I can go to my mom, but I don't know if I'm ready to tell her I'm a lesbian or this is what I'm doing. I'm not sure if I want to tell her.
So you were having those thoughts all along?
Yeah.
So by this time that now you're breaking up with this girl, and everything, there's already that thought.
Yeah.
How did she receive it?
After giving my life to Christ?
No. Like just the breakup.
Oh yeah, about the breakup. Oh my God. It was so bad, because I remember she was leaving the country. We were supposed to go to South Africa, and she had to go alone. So nilibaki.
Surely, Nimo.
So nilibaki na hizo 2 months.
Heartbreaker.
Let me tell guy, I felt like in my mind, I felt like I'm in a break. I'm in a break. Because I felt like, maybe, what is that you're supposed to do that you're not doing? And why am I telling you this? And then you're saying, you know, there's this trip, I have to go. We can't, why don't you stay? We sort this out. I thought we are about to get married. So yes, equal, like, the trip is important than this. And she went, so I felt, me don't really feel nikani me had to break you and all. So I remember
Nimo, that's crazy. Yeah. Broke you.
2 months. It broke me, because I felt like, you don't care, because why are you leaving? Like, why? This is what I feel.
How did you handle that?
Feeling.
Now that you already had a relationship that was filling the void, did you go into more drugs?
So the funny thing is, I remembered what my mom, when my mom prayed, I remembered the feeling. And at that moment, I told God, you know, crossover this year, I want to go into church. Ni mimi na wewe. Of course, sikuenda church, because my friend told me, okay, let's go say hi to friends at the club, and then tutaenda. But then we ended up staying, so we didn't go. And I remember first I told God, I'm really sorry, I wanted this to end nikiwa church, because I wanted 2019 I start with you. And Alice, God is so faithful. He's so faithful. Even in our darkest place, even when we are not faithful, He's faithful. Yeah.
Nimo, I want to hold want you to hold it right there. We'll continue with this conversation after this, but do let us know what's popping for you, you know. So hold it right there.